Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today I'm just going to pull a quick card for each counterpart to see what kind of energy is going on for each one. So Divine Feminines. Oh, just want one. That was like 5. One card for a Divine Feminines. There we get one. Heart chakra. The green flower of life supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and body. Okay, so your optimum health, Divine Feminines, is benefited by you loving unconditionally. If you love with condition, your heart hurts. We know this as suffering, emotional turmoil, fear. So it's actually good for your heart health, for your body, for your temple, to love unconditionally. Advice for the feminines. What can we see? Advice for the feminines. Be here now. Stop focusing on the future, on things that you don't seem to have, that undermine your self-worth, taking things personally. Live fully now in some way. What's going on energetically regarding heart chakra and being in the moment right now? Temple of perfected essence, divinity, honor, responsibility, and humility. So be humble, Divine Feminines. This is your honor that you're on this journey. It's a testament of your divinity, your soul self, and it's your sacred responsibility to be a steward of what you've asked for, meaning true love, unconditional love, to be in the present moment. So just so I don't mislead anyone with this channel, I am getting to say that you're allowed to have hopes and dreams and visions for the future. But don't live for those things. Live now. What can you include from those visions in your now? With or without your counterpart, how can you use the visions that you have for what is possible now? Likewise, from the past, anything you're holding on to, trying to drag from the past into the present, things that are not meant to be now, how can you let go of that stuff? I'm going to leave you with the words again, considering the past and the future. So anything you're thinking about, rehashing, dredging up from the past or from the future, does it honor? Is it divine? Is it your responsibility? And are you humble regarding those things? Okay, let's get a card for the masculines. What can the divine masculines see at this time? Change and Gaia. So I'm actually just going to, I'm not feeling Gaia. I think change was the top one. Let's do that. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. This is also being in present moment, letting go of the past, the things that were not successful and the things that have not yet come. Just allowing presence. What can we get for the masculines? Be at home. Be here now for the feminines, and be at home. Also be fearless and bold. So divine masculines, just because something hasn't been one way in the past doesn't mean that it can't be now. What is the energetic card? Own it all, I heard, divine masculines. And we have right on Adam, autonomy, self-fulfillment, non-reaction. That's a 33 card. So this is your own right to your autonomous experience of life. Be at home in your decisions, in what your mind and heart are telling you. You have every right to be fully yourself, experiencing the life of your dreams as anyone else, Divine Masculines. Okay, let's get into a counterpart reading. So literally I'm hearing to do a reading regarding the energies in the collective right now for the majority that join me here. What is the cutting edge kind of info that we can get for the most practical, grounded look at what we can be thinking about, pointing to the things on our hearts that are of most benefit to be aware of at this time. Also, the things that we would most benefit from manifesting at this time. Actions to take. What is the challenge that is most useful to be aware of? The solution for that. And the direction in the next few weeks. I'm going to get also some, need to shuffle some cards for the feminines and the masculines. What would each say to the other about the energies that we are about to see? Feminines on the left, masculines on the right. Okay. What is on the conscious mind for the connection at this time? Three of Pentacles, more than meets the eye, more than the 3D. So there's a deeper layer of reality being focused on at this time. For the feminines, do you think about me too? So the divine feminines are wondering if the divine masculines are understanding their connection in a deeper way. If these more than meets the eye kind of energies also appeal to the masculines, if they're seeing possibly the bigger picture, the context, signs, synchronicities maybe, but do the masculines think of the feminines in day-to-day life under the surface, regardless of what their life situation looks like? The feminines are wondering if, while the masculines are going about their day, if the feminine is on their mind. What are the masculines saying? Communication. So the masculines are very much focused on how to communicate next, what to communicate about. This could be internal communication. So there seems to be this bit of a pull that goes a bit deeper than the 3D. Where is the energy going in the near future? Each are having their eyes opened to a little bit more understanding about each other, about ourselves. And so this connection has been, in the 3D, there is more than meets the eye. And the revelation card, the judgment card, the pattern recognition card, it is pointing to a shared sense of, or knowing about reality, that coincidences are going on, that parallel choices or changes are occurring simultaneously for each counterpart, whether they're in communication or not. There is a tandem motion in each counterpart's life that talks about growth and overcoming very couple specific challenges. So each twin couple has a particular karma that they work the other side of the coin from the twin regarding. And So there is a little bit of the revelation of that coming up here through some communication and through some of these synchronicities that the feminines are talking about. There does seem to be a little bit more potential to compare notes available coming up for the counterparts. What are the counterparts thinking on the conscious mind for each other specifically? Lord of Sorrow, the heartache. So there is some misconceptions. Again, the 3 swords here represent society's misconceptions, our own inner bully, and the things that we're worried our counterpart thinks and feels that cause us suffering. So each are kind of processing some pain right now. The contrast, so if there are obstacles or barriers to the union, those things are tender at this point. So those are any of the we're too different deal breaker things that the masculines say are reasons not to be together, typically the DM. So for the feminines, I want to get you drunk in the reverse. So the feminines are realizing if they have to use any measures other than just simple, authentic connection straight across, that they're not up for it anymore. No more sneaky, shady, no more bending like a willow in the wind, regardless of where the masculines are at. This is like boundary setting. Divine feminines want straightforward, not alcohol-induced communication. None of these lower vibrational breadcrumbs. Divine feminines don't want to excuse or have any kind of crutch here. Divine masculines, they don't want to be an escape for you. Divine feminines want to be legitimately priority. What are the masculines saying to the feminines? I just need space so I can find my truth. So this is a blockage card. It's the 2 of Swords. So this connection, Divine feminines, has been substantially painful enough for the masculines to really need to eliminate a factor in their lives. In one way, you can say that you were cut out on some level because there's a more secure connection, and so it's less drama to cut out the factor that is more of a given. As counterintuitive as that seems, the low-hanging fruit, masculines felt safest to take something off their plate, and that lucky thing was you, because they trust this connection on a deeper level, ironically. So divine masculines have stepped back. So it's not a rejection, they just need space. And because these connections are so multidimensional, they also tend to feel a bit more energetically, spiritually overwhelming. And for the masculines that aren't used to that level of energetic stimulation or intensity, it's also appeared in many cases to be the thing that's causing the heartache. But when they clear that off the plate by 3D measures, they realize that just making changes in the 3D doesn't actually alleviate the intensity. But they don't want to add insult to injury, I just heard, so they want to put it in a time capsule. What is the direction at this time? Investment in self. So this is a bit of a solo motion in the energy. 7 of Pentacles is a gardening card. It's like the right fertilizer, the right sun, the right weeding. This is maintenance. So when we think of the nutrients, the fertilizer and sunlight, water, sun, and fertilizer, that is like the karma clearing, the healing, and the purpose. So this is a time to be self-accountable. Feminines are doing that work, and masculines are also taking space, leveling up. Both are leveling up. So feminines, you've said the status quo won't do anymore, and your masculine understands that, so they are responding with, I just need space so I can find my truth. So if you even internally can trace back to something you said, divine feminine, to yourself, between you and God, so to speak, about your standards, like you're not going to take this status quo, this pattern with your masculine anymore, that you wish things could be different that way, that's energetically possibly why you were even blocked, or your masculine took space, because energetically they can feel that your standard raises, and so they're responding by needing to find their new truth at this level. And that can be confusing for both, because it is an energetic thing. If you're ready for more and you haven't had a communication with your masculine about that, they still may be reactive this way, and it may be like they've beat you to the punch. Isn't that funny how that happens in these connections? On the heart space, what can we see for this connection from both counterparts? 10 of Cups, Lord of perfected success. So both know that this offers the potential for ultimate happiness in relationship form. Feminines are saying, will you choose me in this happiness? They know, divine masculines, that you are their choice. You are their 10 out of 10. And what are the masculines saying? The truth. So they know that you also are their truth, divine feminines. This is the connection. It has shown these evidence to each other. What are the counterparts thinking of each other? Ace of Wands. This is life purpose, but also the sexual pull. This is the most phallic card in the deck, so sexy time. Feminines are saying sex in the reverse, however. So this Ace of Wands, it can't just be sexual. There is a pull here, but there's more to it. It's not just sex, the feminines are saying. There is this inspired motion that the sexual connection can generate this innovation between two. It's not about the sex. This aliveness generated is for a purpose. The masculines are saying, I want it. So they also, in the reverse, there's an acknowledgement they want the sex too, but they know that it has to do with something bigger, grander than the dynamic. What wish are the twins having, the counterparts having in their own lives? Temperance, balance, emotional equilibrium, compassionate non-attachment. The feminines are saying, I don't want to lose you, but in the inverse, I don't want to lose myself. My primary responsibility is my emotional balance. That's my primary connection to source, to myself. And then counterpart, I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to ever play small again or not reach my potential. Extraordinary life. What are the masculines saying? Only ourselves can free our minds. Exactly, it's not on the counterpart to balance us out or do the work for us, carry our karma, tell us how to think. The masculines want to take full accountability for their own thoughts and opinions and choices. This is a brand new beginning coming up, based in balance, based in autonomy, sovereignty, and then true alignment, where both are taking accountability for their own aspect of the energy. What is the wish towards each other in this connection? 7 of Cups, through all the options, all the choices, at the end of the day, choosing each other. Seven of Cups in the inverse, meaning there is a clear knowing of the unconditional love in this connection. What are the feminines saying about that? This love scares me in the reverse, meaning the fear is going away. There's more of a knowing, a deep internal knowing. Learning to work with fear in a new way. Now it is more of a confirmation of timing or not, or flow or not, rather than something confusing for the feminines. They're learning how to assess any times that they feel anxious and understand that that means that something they're expecting isn't going to follow the expected outcome. And so it's just becoming a no. So feminines, instead of being afraid that the love isn't there, are starting to see that when they have concern or anxiety or apprehension, that it simply means the timing isn't ripe yet. I just heard. The masculines want to say out of thin air. So in every given moment, there is this love path illuminated, and out of thin air, it's like the light turns green just unexpectedly. They're paying attention to being able to turn on a dime, to forgive themselves for changing their mind, to relinquish duty, to change their plans, to not adhere so strictly to what's been said. So this does not mean that the divine masculines don't have character. They are impeccable in character and becoming more so, because even the things that they give their word to, they are allowing to take new actions and set new goals if they've outgrown those things. So they're allowing themselves to keep growing, promising less in certain ways than ever before, so they're not bound. So divine masculines, it's not about keeping the options open, divine feminines, but the divine masculines are learning to not navigate with absolutes, so that they are more apt or able to change up plans in flow. When people rely on other people's word, when somebody says something and then that plan changes, someone who relies too heavily on that person's word might have a meltdown about the plan changing. And so we're learning to navigate with change as a factor, with growth included. So divine masculines are learning not to make promises they can't keep, and divine feminines are learning how to be good regardless of change. Karmic energies are not at these developmental stages. Doesn't mean people necessarily, but the karmic energies don't have as much accommodation of life in this way. So divine masculines are realizing they don't need to be in situations that are more rigid, controlling, that they can bring more spontaneity and freedom into their relationships, into the way that they organize their lives. This is a transformation within relationship. Instead of saying, but you promised, or I guarantee I'll never, or I'll always. These things are being switched around to, if it feels mutually good to both of us, if, God willing, or that feels great now, let's see how it goes closer to then. All of those kinds of more open navigation strategies honor everyone doing their best with what they have to work with at the time. So pay attention to all of those messages, everyone, in your lives, because that will allow for the release of fixed expectations and attachment to particular outcomes. What can we see for the actions each are taking in their own lives at this time? Seven of Swords. This is secrecy and self-interest, but it's strategy in our own right. So that doesn't mean that it's a secret against the counterpart, but right now it's a sovereign motion where each counterpart is taking matters into their own hands. I just wish things were different in the reverse for the feminines. So they know that they have to set their lives up. Divine feminines are setting their own lives up to make room for the changes, the differences that they wish to see. They're starting to understand that they can't just expect someone else to create all these changes and differences, that they also have to make real, big, mature, adult changes in their own life to receive what they are asking for. And so they're taking matters into their own hands. They're strategizing the things that need to change in their lives to bring in more embodiment, more presence now, not in the future. That first card we got, be here now. So feminines are no longer in wishful thinking that things could be different. They're literally making the changes now. And masculines, what would they say? One at a time. So divine masculines are plucking off the items on the to-do list, from the karmic lives to the lives of freedom. I just heard these challenges. They're no longer juggling. They're streamlining towards specific outcomes. This is leading both into having this connection recognized for all to see. So right now it's still in the ethers, in safekeeping, it's in the becoming, it's in the process of being realized in the physical. What is the action that each twin is taking towards the other? Six of Swords, internal progress. So aligning the thoughts and heart within each of the counterparts so that that alignment with the counterpart will come into physical manifestation. The feminines are working on the energy of, do you even see me that way? So this journey can be counterintuitive when we're coming from a place of ego or a limited perspective. That whole taking space or friend zone looks a little bit like rejection. Feminines are continuing with the self-worth that's allowing them to not be deluded about the love and to know that their masculine does, you divine masculines, see them as radiant beings. I just heard that they are a catch, that they are valuable and worthy of your love. So divine feminines, turn the question, do you see yourself that way? If you do, hold your head high and know the love is there. Because if you have connected with your masculine, I just posted something on the community board, and it was talking about the first, when we manifest somebody into our lives, that potential that we see immediately indicates what the connection can be. So, if you come together like supernovas and it's absolutely next level incredible, trust that. Because when you're in alignment, you do manifest these kinds of connections. And so understand that if you did connect that way, they did see you that way. So if you've stopped seeing yourself that way, get back into being able to see yourself that way, and your counterpart or someone else will meet you in that energy. What are the masculines saying? It's hard work, but someone's got to do it. So this is the internal mindset shifting. Divine masculines are taking every thought captive and saying, whoa, whoa, wait a second. That thought contradicts the other good feeling thoughts that I'm having. So this deal breaker thought, this skeptical thought, this critical thought, this judgmental thought, this bad feeling thought must not be true, because I have all these other thoughts that feel good to me when I think about it. So I'm thinking about those deal breaker energies again. Divine masculines are looking at those thoughts, and the heart is winning. The love is winning. What is the direction of the connections? Justice in the reverse. So this is justifying the connections. Divine feminines, you are coming through the worthiness of knowing you are the perfect counterpart for the person that you're watching this for your divine masculine or your soulmate or whatever you want to call it. And divine masculine, although I do see a difference between twin flame and soulmate, that doesn't mean that everyone watching this has a twin flame or is watching for, a soulmate or whatever. These divine connection readings, it still holds true. The information and the energies to shoot for are still love, right? So it's hard. Oh, and I want to say, if it's not your twin that you're watching it for, you will still find success in love if you apply these principles. So you don't need to know if it's your twin or not. If it feels good, keep going. It's hard work, but someone's got to do it. So it's a work in progress. Keep going, counterparts. In time, this justice card will prevail when everything is balanced and sorted. What is the biggest challenge for the counterparts? The hangman, this at the mercy of divine timing. What would the feminines say about that? I just want space. In the reverse, feminines don't want space. They want to come together. They want to be with you, divine masculines. They want to navigate this together. They don't want the spaciousness. They want to see you again, talk to you again, make love, all of that. Divine masculines have free spirit in the reverse, or inverse. So they are, divine masculines, you're putting down your burdens. You're wanting to free your life. You're wanting to come into more of that spontaneous, guilt-free, fully you, at a moment's notice, allowed to grow, allowed to keep changing and evolving. And so this hanged man is there right now, I'm hearing, divine masculines, so that you really want this with all your heart, and so that you never compromise yourself this way again. Sometimes when the universe seems to grind to a halt, it's so that this lesson is fortified, learned fully, no cutting corners. So it might just feel like a prolonged, extended pause in the connection on some level, but that truly is to make the heart grow fonder for these worthiness issues. So the masculine's worthiness issue is that they're not allowed to do what they want, or that they're not worthy of having freedom. And the divine feminine's worthiness issues is that they'll be alone or not worthy of being chosen. The direction, Queen of Cups, psychic development, deep internal psychic intuitive discernment here for both. Divine masculines, intuitively discover how you could be more of a free spirit in your own right, never mind within a relationship. What are the mindset shifts? What are the actionables you can take? And feminines, what can you do to not necessarily fill the void with I just want space, but to be productive, whole, fulfilled, moment to moment, that need for closeness arises. Don't reject yourself in those moments by going into waiting or scarcity or rejection of self. Don't tell yourself you're not worthy of love. Do the opposite. Love yourself fully in those moments. Adore yourself. I heard a meme once or saw one, have so much healthy internal dialogue that you something or other. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find that and post it. It's something about like overdoing the internal healthy, positive stuff. What's the solution to this Hanged Man? Princess of Swords, curiosity, growth, learning, studying, moving forward. Love is the answer. So Divine Feminines, this is embodying more love, you know, really looking at ways to increase that love quotient in your own self-assessment, specifically in this reading. The masculines, there are too many ideas in the mix. Divine masculines, you've got to make some cuts. You've got to make some changes. Beliefs that no longer support your truth need to be thrown out. Your heart, trust the pump, Divine masculines. Trust your heart. If people, places, things don't align with you being able to do what you feel genuinely to do on your heart, release those things. If it's a mindset, release it. If it's an internal critic, release it. Allow yourself the freedom. It starts with you, and then everything that you align with in your physical will also support that freedom in you. What is the direction of the energy? The Chariot in the reverse. So there's some frustration here. This is still like a pause. The brakes are on a little bit here so that there can be more clearing, more love embodied. This is a highly instructive time, and it is a prolonged pause in some regards, so that it's deeply integrated, is what I'm hearing. Okay, one advice for each counterpart. For the feminines, what can we see? We're getting give with gratitude and grace. So if you want to be loved, love. Masculines. Right now we get a rebirth is assured. So Divine masculines, you might be wondering if you should revisit something, or if your feminine would allow you to return, you know, the fear of rejection. A rebirth is assured here. If you are a Divine masculine watching this reading, a rebirth is assured. And we see the big picture. Take a time out and trust in divine detours. So yes, you've just been on a divine detour. It doesn't contradict the love that was here or the chance you have going forward for this. Get out of the fickle energy, masculines, and trust the big picture. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.